Ms. McMahon. So glad you could come today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Please have a seat.
Okay.
So I just wanted to have you in today to discuss Gino's progress so far this year in first grade.
Okay.
And so we can start to plan for second grade. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Do you have any questions or comments before we get started?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great. So first of all, I just wanted to say that Gino's a pleasure to have in class.
No, thank you.
He's really, really sweet and he tries really, really hard. So I just wanted to show you some of his math scores.
Okay.
So you can take a look here.
Okay.
So far this school year we've done chapters 1 through 7, and he's been scoring in the proficient range, so that's
awesome.
really, really great.
Okay.
His lowest score is an 82, which is still super, and his highest score was the second to last test. He scored a 93.
Okay, great.
So that's amazing. The only thing that I would recommend for math is to maybe have him continue to practice those math flashcards that we sent home.
Yeah, with the braille and okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Basically, just so he can speed up his fluency. In second and third grade, he's going to really need to know those to be able to keep up with the class.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about was his reading. I do have some concerns as far as reading goes. He has been a little bit slower than the rest of his students, and I'm noticing he's been getting a little bit frustrated. Have you been noticing that at home?
Yeah, a little bit with homework at home.
Okay. If he gets frustrated, he tends to shut down, put his head down on the table, and he's really hard to kind of get focused again. He seems to appreciate like praise, like you're doing a great job, come on, keep going.
Yeah.
You know, we're almost there, you just have a few more to get through, giving him high fives, kind of joking around with him. He really seems to respond well to that.
Okay, good.
Do you have any other suggestions?
No, I think that sounds good. It's similar to what we've been trying to do at home with him, so as long as it's consistent, I think that would be good.
Okay, great. I did want to share, we did some testing recently. We did something called the QRI-4, and he at the pre-primer level, he scored 14 out of 20 words, which is instructional.
Okay.
And at the primer level, he scored 7 out of 20 at frustration. I would like to see those scores improve a little bit by the end of this school year.
Okay.
So we're going to continue to try and work on those, and I will test him again before the end of June and get back to you on that.
Okay.
His sight words are also a little low. I just tested him about 2 weeks ago, and he was only able to identify 52 out of 155.
Okay.
So what I was thinking as far as that goes is I was going to send home a copy of flashcards with you in large print, and I was hoping that maybe on the way to school, on the way home from school, just 10 to 15 minutes a day, a couple times a day, if you could just review those words with him.
Okay, perfect.
It's just a matter of repetition and practice, I think, for Gino.
Okay.
Because I'd also like to see that number increase before the end of the school year.
Okay. Could you let us know which ones he knew?
Yeah.
So that way we could work on the one, like pick a few that he could work on.
Yeah,
each
of
night.
course. Yeah,
Okay.
and maybe if we just had like a goal of like 10 a week.
Yeah.
And we'll focus on just those 10.
Building on that.
Building on those 10. And then, you know, I can even have one of the classroom paras work with him in class. And if you guys work on it with him at home, hopefully we can see some growth with that.
Perfect.
Okay? And then most recently were his theme test scores. So far in first grade, the theme tests have been read aloud to them.
Okay.
And he's been doing a really nice job. He has really strong auditory skills.
Yeah.
But the last one he had to read, and he scored below basic, which is a little concerning. Most of the kiddos did just because it was in a different format than what they were used to. With all that being said, in planning for next year, I do have some recommendations I'd like to make.
Okay.
So next year in second grade, they do split reading classes by ability level. So they have a below basic, a proficient, and an advanced.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and make the recommendation that Gino be placed in the below basic reading class at this point. There's a reading specialist who works in that classroom, so we'd be able to get the support from her. And it's just a smaller setting, and he's grouped with kiddos who are at his ability level.
Yeah.
So maybe we could try and build his confidence in that placement. You know, he'll still be with the regular class, learning the regular curriculum. It'll just be a smaller setting, and he'll be getting some extra support.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I think, you know, having less kids will help them focus, and if there's like the reading specialist in there.
Yeah, she can make some suggestions, and she'll be more than willing to contact you towards the beginning of next year, and you guys can work together on that.
Okay, perfect.
And like I said, if we could just continue to work on those sight words, I'll leave a copy here in his desk, and I'll send a copy with you at home.
Okay.
We can stay in open communication about how many words a week we're going to practice and what are those words going to look like. And then another thing we have available is a program called Lexia. It's a computer-based program where Gino would sign in for 15 or 20 minutes during a reading rotation, and he would work on the skills that he has weaknesses in right now. So maybe phonics and blending and those types of things. Would you be okay with that if we started to do something like that to try and bridge these gaps?
Yeah, I think he would be definitely motivated by that.
Yeah, I think so too. He seems to really like computers, and he sees the other kids going on it, and I really think that maybe with that in place too, we could start to see some growth in his reading.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have to share at this point.
Okay.
And if you don't have any questions or concerns, the conference is over.
Okay, perfect.
And hopefully we can chat again before the end of June.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Miss Faye.
coming in.
Thanks.